Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Libris. In this episode I'm doing something for which I don't usually do. In fact, I'm notorious for not doing tags. Of course, the current trend with tags in blogs, Instagram, etc. Too many friends have tagged me at one time or another, and I have completely failed them. It's not their fault, and there's nothing inherently wrong with tags. I don't have anything against tags. I like them actually, but I have never devoted the time needed to do them properly. So I have shunned from doing tags. But there were two very dear friends, bloggers of mine, that kind of insisted and asked that at least I should try in an episode of Ex Libris to do the best I can. So I couldn't really say no to their very polite requests. Unfortunately, their blogs are in Greek, so I'll have the links in the description. I don't know if you'll be able to read Greek, but if you do, go check them out and subscribe to them. They're totally worth it. The first tag was to do by both of them was in something called the versatile blogger award or something like that, but it's essentially to disclose some facts about ourselves. To be honest, I never thought there would be much the world would like to know about me, but okay, let's give it a try. I'll try to stick with the bookish facts, and I was always a reader. I loved reading, and I have to admit that I was also a meticulous student during school, and my grades were quite good. What's more interesting, I believe, is that although I'm doing a bookish YouTube channel and my Instagram is mainly bookish, and I'm proud to be a bookstagrammer, of course. In fact, I have never studied anything having to do with literature. Now I'm an agricultural scientist by education and trade, and have never been into the literature education or anything like that. So it's just a hobby of me. Many people assume that I have at least some degree in letters or something like that, but that's not the case. And I also don't generally read. Very seldomly I will reread a book. This is because of the facts. First, my memory is still good, and I tend to remember. And for a person like me, that I think the plot is king or queen of the book, rereading, just takes something away from the book. Another reason is that when I was young, I didn't have that many books to choose from, so more often than not I had to reread books. There are books that I have read 3 or 4 times. So from the moment I started reading on my own, I mean, being able to get my own books and read them, and I started reading books just once. Mainly that's it. You could say it's a trauma of kinds from my childhood, but it's not that I didn't have. I probably had more books than any other friend of mine, but for a bookworm like me, there will be never enough books, that's true, and unfortunately I don't really have the time. Also, I'm a massive mood reader. I mean, I buy books. It's the long list of shame, as I have started calling it. I've got so many books I've bought, and I haven't got around to reading them, and they just keep piling up. And and that's mainly because I will only read a book if I am in the right mood for it. And there are also some not so long and not so often periods when I'm into a reading slump, mainly because I'm not in the mood for anything in particular. I mean, I have been known to spend even a week trying just to decide which book I should start. And I think that's all the bookish facts you want to know about me. And I've also okay, let's expose myself a little bit. I have I'm into games, as you know, video games and board games. I love board games mainly because I get to read rule books, which it's a pet peeve of mine. I like to read rule books, that's true, and various manuals. I hope that doesn't sound so weird, but okay. And I'm a fan of role-playing games, which of course are all about books, you know, manuals again, but in the core of role-playing games is the narration, which of course is in the core of any decent book, that is. So we love role-playing games, and I have done a little bit of world building. You have seen the link to my World Anvil site, and I've also read a couple of short stories in my world. Unfortunately, I haven't translated them in English, but just, you know, yes, I have done my not my fair I have done my silly writing, and well, it's an experience. It's quite a good experience. Now, the other tag, and I have horribly failed at that one, is about the books. I think it's the 10 books I love, and I'm always at a loss when people tag me or ask me what's your favorite book, what's your favorite author, what's your favorite genre, and I go, what? I don't have one favorite author. I don't even have 3 favorite authors. I mean, each book is by its own a favorite. I mean, I've got so many favorite books. I've tried to do this properly. Okay, I'll show you what I've done, but I quit at I don't know what number of books, because I realized it was an exercise in futility. Okay, let's just for the sake of it. Okay, it's The Mysterious Isle by Jules Verne. One of the staples of my childhood. I've read it so many times, but it's great. It's a great book. I loved all the facts that were in there, and the fixing things and the discovering things. It was a great book, and I love almost everything Jules Verne has written. It's a great author. And Philip Pullman, yes, Philip Pullman, his Dark Materials trilogy and a couple of other books he has written. I mean, yeah, you should read. Yes, I know it's 3 books, but okay, it's a trilogy. Okay, so yes, Philip Pullman, his Dark Materials, one of my favorites, definitely. And yes, epic, Robert Jordan, The Wheel of Time. Not a trilogy, it's 14 books. Not every book was a favorite of mine, but it was an epic. And the last books completed by Brandon Sanderson were truly great books, great fantasy books. I mean, you should find the time and read The Wheel of Time sometime. And history, of course, and war history more specifically. Anthony Beaver, one of my favorite historians. D-Day is, I think, one of his best books, but also is the War for Spain and Stalingrad and Operation, and his last one about Arnhem, and of course Second World War. I haven't read it yet. It's on my to be read list, which keeps growing, I've said, but for Normandy, yes, do that. And then I thought about in Kershaws also books. I mean, there's so many good history books out there, and yeah, okay, I'll leave it to that. And of course, Dracon by Chris Cascavel. It has been, it's in Greek, but it has been translated in English. You can find it, I think, in Amazon. Yeah, definitely Amazon in e-form, and read it. It's a great book. It borders on fantasy. It's more like alternate history. It's heroic fantasy. Yes, it's heroic fantasy. It's very well written. I totally recommend it. And another non-fiction, Gombrich, Ernest Gombrich, The Story of Art. I couldn't believe myself, but I bought it as a reference book about art, but I ended up reading it cover to cover. I was amazed at how reader-friendly this book is, how well written it is, the clarity and the way Gombrich explains art is superb. I mean, totally recommended this. And of course, The Lord of the Rings. This is one book. This is not a trilogy. This being branded as a trilogy hurt me. It was originally published as 3 books, but it is one book. There were reasons you can search and you can read about it, but it is one book. The Lord of the Rings, epic. I mean, it is. I would say it's a life-changing book. I mean, you can. After reading it, nothing is going ever to be the same, at least in your relation with fantasy books. That's it. And of course, another favorite historian, Mark Mazaur. His book Salonika, City of Ghosts is superb, but also he inside Hitler's Greece and the Balkans and what else? The Hitler's Empire and so many books by Mark Mazaur. He's one of my favorite historians. He manages to convey strong messages about the times he is writing every time. And of course, the classics. Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities. If you have never read anything else from the classics, but you should, please read A Tale of Two Cities. I mean, it's a masterpiece. And yeah, and how could I forget John Steinbeck? Yeah, many great books of Mice and Men and East of Eden, and but this one depicted, if you see me on YouTube, this one here is The Moon is Down, short and very a book that has personally touched me. It was a great book. And of course, you can see also The Guns of August by Barbara Tuchman. I mean, just go read it. I mean, if you don't like history, you should read this one. And if you're into historical fiction, you can follow it, The Pillars of the Earth, and of course it's a trilogy. It's a world. The Pillars of the Earth, World Without End, The Column of Fire. Go read them, and also the Century trilogy. Okay, we're way past 10 books by now, but I think you get the feeling. But let me explain myself. I mean, I have probably not done justice even to have the authors I would like to recommend, but that's not the point. Trying to do this tag, I realized something about myself. I have trouble picking out 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or 100 books for a very simple, hopefully, reason. all the books that I have really liked and would deserve to be my favorites have, in one way or another, changed me. They not exactly changed, they have defined me. Every single one of these books has shaped at least a part, a small or greater part of my personality. In doing that, these books have become a part of me, have become a part of who I am. And so it's difficult asking me to it's akin to asking me to choose one aspect of my personality, which I think it's like asking a person which part of his body is his or her favorite. I mean, it's not. It's deeper than that. It's about personality. They have defined, as I said, who I am. They have helped shaped my personality. So I can't really get to pick them. I start saying, yes, that book was great. It's totally one of my favorites, and then another comes to mind that has also had the same effect, and another one and another one, and I'm proud that at least I have learned something from all the books I have read. I've taken the best they had to offer me. I mean, I think they have fulfilled their purpose in shaping who I am, and I think that's the best praise, the highest praise me or anyone can give to a book or to an author, and that's all for now. I don't have anything else to say. I'll probably see you in the next episode. Hopefully it was not an awful episode. Sorry for failing to do the tags I've been tagged for, and for failing to do them to do properly the tags I have done. But you've got to love your friends with all their cons as well. So that's all for now. Bye bye.